way, it's going to be kind of a lot of information. So if anyone wants to have the guide that I've created, step-by-step guide, I can have that sent to you all. Just
That would be great.
Absolutely.
That would be
okay,
wonderful. Thank you.
That'd be
okay,
good.
okay. Very good. All right. Again, here we go. This is my step-by-step guide training. Let's see. Oh, there we go.
And we are also recording this session as well, so we'll send that along with the guide to all the meeting participants.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, the REDCap mobile app. It provides online users with the ability to create and manage surveys and databases quickly and securely to facilitate data collection. This mobile app, it's like a new dimension to, it's something that's easier to use or another tool to use offline. And basically, it'll collect your data in the mobile app on an iPhone, iPad, or an Android phone or a tablet. And it will allow users to use this electronically as opposed to pen and paper. But you also can, if for some reason you can't use the app, you can go ahead and enter yours on your blank forms and go back in. You guys know how to do that part. It cannot be used on its own, but is a companion app that must be used alongside REDCap itself. So you really have to have REDCap and have your project in REDCap in order to use it. And then I'll go through some of the flow and some of the steps that you would need to set it up. Um, and again, if you need help and assistance setting it up, just send me a BIU request and I can walk you through setting it up. But right now, I'm gonna try to go through what it actually looks like. Once it's set up on your device, you can collect data which is stored locally on your device, and then at some point sync that data back to its project on the REDCap server. This is sort of the flow. The REDCap mobile app is an app that can be installed on a tablet again, a mobile device. It's most useful when collecting from phone where there's no internet connectivity or there's spotty connectivity, but it has to be used on your mobile device as opposed to your laptop. Once a user in the project is given REDCap mobile app privileges, they can navigate to the mobile app page on the project's left-hand menu, and I'll show you where that is, and set up the project inside the mobile app on their device. Once the mobile device project is set up on the device, the user can collect data which is stored locally. We kind of went over that a few minutes ago. This is kind of the flow. You create your project and you download your project. Once it's the data is downloaded, you then collect, you can send the data and then sync it and the flow goes back over again. So I'll give you a little bit more about it as we walk through. These are some of the concepts. You can create and design your project on your REDCap installation and grant mobile app rights and get a token. It'll ask you, do you want to get a token? You set up your project while online, the project on the app using a code provided in REDCap, and then I'll show you that process in a few seconds, a few minutes. You collect your data from the participants. It can be done offline or online if internet access becomes available. You send the data to the REDCap server securely. New records are sent as a package. Modified records have their value adjudicated against existing server values. The app user will then be given a chance to refresh the project. This step must be done online, and you'll see how to do that. You view and you analyze your data. Once the data is uploaded to REDCap, it is a living part of the project. And these are some of you do not need to use the mobile app to enter data into REDCap from a device. If you have an internet connection, you can simply use a browser to collect data through surveys or data entry forms. So you don't have to use it, as you guys are aware of that. The two options for collecting data for a device are compared below. And this is kind of good so you get a general idea on what you can do and so you'll know which works best for you. If there's a reliable and source secure internet connection, of course, you use that. But REDCap mobile app, if there's no or unreliable internet connection, and you'll hear me say that repeatedly, but it just kind of let people understand the whole process of it. Data is directly entered into the REDCap project. Once a form is saved on the device, no data is stored on the device. Data is saved on the device once a form is saved and will not be entered. This is your mobile app and will not be entered in the main REDCap project until data is synced via an internet connection. On your online browser, data is always up to date in the REDCap project. On your mobile app, data might be out of sync if the data stored on the device is not regularly synced to the main REDCap project. On your browser, no additional security measures required on the device. On your mobile app, further security measures must be taken to ensure data security. And then there's a part here down at the bottom that gives a lot about the security of it, which, like I say, I will give you guys this so you can go back through each one and get a little bit more in-depth information on that. Okay, for the online browser, the REDCap interface is exactly the same as it is on the desktop. The interface is adjusted to fit uniquely for a mobile device and looks slightly different. On the REDCap browser, user accounts and rights set in REDCap are applicable. Separate user accounts and user rights are needed to be created in the app. An API tokens are given required to link back to user accounts in the main REDCap. And that's part of the security of it so that no one can just pick up your device and go in and look and enter it and get the data from there because it has to be set up and that person has to have an API token. In order to get that, they have to be a REDCap user. Getting started. You log in to REDCap, select your correlating project from My Projects page. You grant mobile app rights, and that's located features on the left sidebar. You choose the user rights application and add REDCap mobile app rights for yourself or another appropriate user. By rule, you will now be able to download the full data set and request an API token regardless of previous permissions levels. And the REDCap administrators are the one who grant the REDCap, the tokens. So when you look at, I don't know if you guys are looking at it now, but if you look up on your in REDCap and you'll see where you would click this and allow users. The REDCap mobile app users rights allows users to set up the project inside the mobile app on your device, collect data which is stored locally on the device, sync that data back to this project on the REDCap server. REDCap mobile app section is where users can view the app log and file archive, and I'll show you where that is as well. I won't be able to actually demonstrate anything because I'm on a desktop, but you'll have a chance to go in and you can, create your own project and kind of play around with it yourselves. To allow users to load data for all records to the app, user right allows users to download records from the server to the app. Unchecking this privilege prevents users from unwittingly or wittingly downloading lots of sensitive data to their mobile device. If a user is given this privilege, then when they initialize the project in the app and the project contains at least one record, then the app will prompt the user to choose if they wish to download all the records to that app or not. I'm going too fast, slow me down.
Yeah,
And this is
good.
how you request a token and get app access. You click the REDCap mobile app link on the sidebar and request an API token. Once the token is created, return to the page or refresh the page. A QR code is now available under the initialized project and mobile app. If you have trouble with the QR code, you can't get the QR code to work, link to a 10-character access code that can be entered, and I'll show you that in a moment. This is where you would click here and then you will request an API token. You have to do this on each project because it's all project specific. And this is what your code, you'll get a code, a QR scan to scan, or you can use this code if the scan does not work. And if you don't use it within 10 minutes, it goes away, and then you have to do the process over again. And downloading and open the app on your device. You download the mobile app on your device. by searching the App Store or Google Play, like I'm sure you guys have all done, downloading apps. And it's the same process. You'll select REDCap, and it'll show you various different REDCaps, or it's something else that's on there, but you want to make sure that you get the right REDCap by Vanderbilt University. It's available for the following platforms, and I think this has been updated since I've done this, but an iPhone 4 and up, iPad 2 and up, Android 4.3 or later phones and tablets. And below are the links for downloading the app from the Apple Store. So once you get in, you will know how to locate it. Once you locate it, you follow those directions. This is where you go to set up your project. Once you've done this and you set it up, what you will do is you will click on your app. In addition to the data collection instruments, you can choose whether you want to download data from the project or not. And here it'll show you, you can go in and you set up my mobile project. It's going to take you to the projects that you have on in the REDCap projects that you have access to. This process happens while online immediately after adding or resynchronizing the mobile project. When synchronizing a mobile project on the REDCap mobile app, all existing data for that project on the app will be deleted. This will not affect any other projects that you have added in the app. Providing the code. Click the scan QR code and initialize a button. Scan the QR code that you see displayed or enter the 10-character access code. If correct, either will grant you access to the project, which has now been replicated on your device for online collection. And these are the screens that you'll see. You click here and you scan the code, or you type in the code. And this is where it's actually setting up your project for you to go in and actually enter the data. When the project in place, you can begin data collection for both new and existing records. Tap the collection data button and choose an instrument and record. This selection order is slightly different for classical projects, one-arm longitudinal projects, and multi-arm longitudinal projects. If this is a new record, you must choose the first instrument. If this is a new record on a project without an auto numbering enabled, you will also have a choice to record name. Enter data and set the form status at the bottom as needed. Save your data in one of three ways. You can save record to save data entered and return the records list, or you can save and continue to save data and enter and remain on the same screen, or you can save and go to the next instrument to save data entered and move on to the next instrument and sequence. And once you go in, you'll be able to see, you'll click collect the data and then choose the form. Oops. And this will be just like your, it'll show you what status that it's in, whether it's incomplete, unverified, or complete. Create your new record. And as it stated up here before, if you need to go in and type it in, you can enter a new record by typing in. You may have the records that you want to display a certain way when it gets to your REDCap on the server. And again, this is just a little bit.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
Sorry, Helen. This is Andrea Vidalewski. I'm not seeing the screen. I mean, I'm seeing your screen, but it's not going on to the next slide. I'm not sure if there's a problem with my computer. It's just stuck on the one screen.
What are you saying?
I mean, the audio is fine on my phone, but when I'm looking at the screen, it was working, but now it's not moving on to the next slide. It is now viewing your screen, but it's not moving on. I'm still on the one that says request token and get app access code. It's not moving on to the next slide on your screen.
Is it anyone else having that issue?
I'm seeing using the REDCap mobile app. That's where I am.
Okay.
Is there number 3 there?
No.
Request token and get app access.
Andy, did your internet connection drop by any chance?
No, it didn't.
Okay.
What do you
Now,
see on the screen? Sorry.
you should see using the REDCap mobile app, and then it should be research database,
Yeah,
Yes.
you see that's where it says using
instrument.
the REDCap mobile app, and it's not. Okay, maybe I need to go out and come back in again. It's
I would,
still
I
on
would,
one of the previous slides.
Is anyone else seeing where it has study ID 1?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We're going to go to the next one. Here are some of the data collection features.
Yes.
Okay. Besides free
Re-
text and structured data entry, pictures, videos, and audio can be uploaded into designated file fields, and that all will be set up on the system. Signatures can be captured as well. Records can be renamed on the first form. Note that renamed records will appear as new records when uploaded to the main database. So you will need to delete the original record to complete the replacement process. Instruments can be secured so that participants or users will only have the option of entering data and not seeing anything on the rest of the app, which can jeopardize confidentiality. They can be unlocked via the primary user's PIN. The amount of data collection is only restricted by what your device hard drive will allow. All data collection can be offline without internet access.
This is Janice. Can you go back to the previous slide?
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that I'm understanding. We are now able to have a place where we can securely and continually add photos and videos.
Now you could always add photos and videos,
Okay.
but you would have to, when you're creating your form, you'd have to set that field in there.
Okay, great. All right, thank you.
Not a problem. Okay, sending data. When back online, you can send data to the project's REDCap server. This will coordinate the mobile device's data with the main REDCap project. If record names or data values conflict, you will be given the opportunity to make adjustments before completing the upload. If the instruments themselves have been modified significantly in the main REDCap project, since this is a REDCap mobile app project setup, you will not be able to complete the load. In the app, click on the Send Data to Server, click the Begin Send button, and then when I'll go through and I'll show you that. New records will be added to the main REDCap project immediately if no conflict exists or if conflicts exist but are automatically resolved by the app. And this is the scenario. If there are no duplicate record names or numbers, records will upload with the names and numbers assigned at the application level, mobile app level. If auto numbering is enabled and there is a record name conflict, a REDCap will automatically update the record numbers to the next numerical series of numbers before uploading and providing details on the app page. If auto numbering is not enabled, a new ID number is suggested but can be modified unless its name conflicts with a new record on the server. And this is when sending data. Existing records that have been modified on the app will have modifications detailed on the app page. An option to send the data to the server for each modified record appears, as well as the opportunity to view details of the differences between server data and app data for that record. Individual field values can be selected from the details, server versus mobile device. Each record that has been modified is usually auto-filled with a yes. Responses to that send data to the server question. If after reviewing the schedule changes for that record, you decide you don't want to make the update, change the response to no to remove it from the upload queue. And it'll give you an opportunity to do all of that. To choose a field level changes, click on the cells that have the information you want to enter for the record. You can choose from either the app side or the server side of the table. And here are some special scenarios in sending it. If a record is deleted from the main project after it has been replicated in the app and change was not made to the app record, the record will not upload from the app to the project as a replacement. You will not receive a notification from the app or server that the original record has been deleted. If a record is deleted from the main project after it has been replicated in the app and a change was made to the app record, you will receive a notification, an option to change the ID number and upload as a new record, or not to upload the record at all. If a record is deleted from the app, it will not be deleted from the server after data syncing. And another set of scenarios to note. For cases where auto numbering is disabled, if a new record was entered on the server with the same ID as a new record entered on the app, you are given the option to merge the data, to upload the data with a new ID, or not to upload the data. Click Send Records with Changes to complete data upload when ready. Click Clean and Reset Mobile Project, and that's a recommendation that's what they recommend, to remove old mobile data and replace with the most current project information from the main REDCap project, or choose back to project to continue working with the same data. If you choose back to project, upload data will no longer be marked as new or modified. It will no longer be queued for upload. And this is kind of what it's going to look like when you send it the data, some of the things that I just talked about. This is what your screen is going to look like. Send the data to server. Begin to send all your data, or you can select parts of your data of your records to send. Send data to server. Are you stuck? You can send an emergency data dump, and then I'll show you a little bit about that. And again, this is when you're sending your project.
Want you to know that I funded the last of the.
Okay, emergency data dump. When something prevents the app from sending the data back to the server, use the Send Emergency Data Dump option to send data to the server as a CSV file. That way you are sure that whatever was entered while you were entering it on that mobile app, that you have some place where your data is dumped and you can go back in and upload it into your project, so that all that time that you've been gathering the data, something happens, clinches, it happens all the time, you won't lose everything that you worked for. So this right here, this data dump, is a process and a way to do that. Sending one's data to the server might rarely fail due to software limitations. Because the data is so important, this alternate mechanism sends data to the server as a CSV that can be entered manually. It should only be used in emergencies, and if it requires the internet to function properly. The CSV file will show up under the REDCap mobile app icon on the left-hand toolbar and under the mobile app file archive tab. You have selected to send, it'll be the tab, you have selected to send only new and modified records. Untouched records will not be sent. So and oftentimes it'll always flash up a screen to kind of give you an opportunity to think for a few seconds. Do I really want to do this? Do I want to send this emergency, so on and so forth. Anything that you're doing with the mobile app, it tries to give you a moment or give you an alert. And these, once you're in on your desktop or on your laptop, the file will show up on the mobile app file archive tab, mobile app file archive, setup project and mobile app. These are all on, you'll be able to see the status of everything. And this is where to give you an Excel file in the raw. Activity log is an area for where the mobile app is stored in the main project mobile app file archive. These can be transmitted to the server for one given project, via the Send Project Logs button on the project menu. That's here. And then you can see what it's doing. It'll tell you that it's uploading, and it'll give you an alert and let you know if it was successful or not. Any questions so far? Okay.
Oh, Helen, I have a
Um,
question really quick. This is
uh-huh.
Lai. You referenced the tokens. So when we or individual is going to request access to the mobile app, and you said that a REDCap administrator will administer a token to them. How long is that process, or does that happen real time? Are people guaranteed tokens if they have access to the Morehouse REDCap account?
They have to have access to that project. Well, in order to get access to the project, you have to have REDCap access.
Okay.
If a person has access to a project and the person on that project, um, they're listed as a user and they have the mobile app, because see, when you set up user rights, a person doesn't automatically get rights to the mobile app. You would have to give that user rights to the mobile app. Once they're in that category, they can actually go in and request a token for this project.
Okay.
And once the token is requested, it comes to our email, and it's in real time. So as soon as that's done, then which means you are allowed to use this as a mobile app, I will grant you that token. And then from that point, and I'll show you I'll just pull up one of them and show you where you can go in and specify specific rights. You can see, manage the token, what type of access they have for the token, because you may just want them to export and not import, or you want them to do both.
Okay.
And it allows you to specify which one you want them to do.
Okay. And you also said that you would need a token per project that you're working on.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's by project, so that it can give you the scan code to go in for that particular project and set it up.
Okay. Thank you.
And sorry, would it be if you have different users, different people working on the same project, would each of them need a token, or do you just get one for the project?
No, it's each person, because it's
Each
by person.
person,
Because
yeah.
you gotta realize that when you're setting up because you're gonna set up, and I have to show you, that's gonna be tricky too. When you're setting up your tablets or your devices, you're gonna be using a different username and password to get in there. So you may have your tablet set up like tablet one, maybe using this username and this code. And it has nothing to do with your username and password that you've gotten in REDCap. But because you're connected to the token on that project, you'll be able to get in. But once you get in, there's an administrator. Excuse me. You have a question?
Yes.
Okay. Once you get in, you will have administrator. You can have an administrator who will manage all of that, and then you just have regular users. That's why if you're going out to a location where you're going to take out 4 or 5 tablets, each one has to have a username for that tablet, a username for tablet 1, tablet 2, tablet 3, and they're all different because they're going to sync differently. They're not connected just because they're connected by projects. So anyway, if you guys need some assistance with that, like I said, send a request and I walk you through it. But this is just kind of giving you the flavor of what it's all about and how you use it. Okay, let's see. And then again, it'll show up under the file archive. You have a mobile app dashboard tab that displays logs of all mobile activity. And this will tell you the file was sent from mobile app, and it gives you the time it was sent and who uploaded it and the file size. Then it'll allow you to download that file if you want to see the log. And I'll go over a few of the security features, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out, and I think I have a test that I can pull up of what one looks like, or I can go in and I can't show a lot because you need to have an actual, it needs to be on a tablet or a mobile app in order for me to show you some things. But anyway, the security features, like the security data transfer is securely to and from the REDCap server via SSL. If it's set up on the server, if SSL is not set up on a server, the REDCap mobile app will alert the user when the project is downloaded. So if it's not set up on, it'll let you know, and it won't work. Device's hard drive, the database is encrypted on the mobile device hard drive using SQL So a lot of this is technical, and I don't know if you guys really want me to go through all of that, but I'll just touch on it a little bit. Oh, the application. A login with a 6-digit PIN is required to access the application. And this is what I was talking about a few minutes ago. 5 login attempts are allowed before lockout. 15-minute lockout period is initiated. When the application is sent to the background or is cloaked with a screen server, the required again to access, you're required again to access the application if a user is logged on. The secure instrument feature restricts access by participants to a single form, enabling the feature, allowing hand over the device to a participant. You can hand it over to a participant directly, but locks the participant out of the rest of the application as other forms. REDCap mobile app server use 6-digit PIN is required to unlock the form. Because what it'll do is, and when you guys get an opportunity, just create a test and then or request an API, a token from me so you can go in and kind of try it yourself before you actually use one that you're going to use. It's not going to hurt anything if you use it and you have to go out. If you don't remember, because REDCap does not save your username and password, it does not allow you and that's for security reasons, because if you forget it, it doesn't allow you to go in and it doesn't give you anything to remember it or for me to really give it to you again, because again, it's only connected to the main server on a temporary basis. So if you forget your password and if you get your username and password that you have set up for that particular device, you're probably going to have to delete it and bring it back up again, which means you have to install it back on it again. So I would advise, if you have something, write it down somewhere where you can get back to it. But you're not going to lose any data, because once you sync the data back, then you're pretty much done. Okay. Any other questions? This is just more security features. Like I said, I will give you access. I will give you this so you can read over it a little bit more. It talks a little bit about the built-in safeguard. Each user on REDCap mobile app has a username and a 4-digit, like I was just talking about, used to authenticate the user before accessing the REDCap project and data in the app. Pins or clip are using, and this is just more reading about the security authentication of it. Anybody have any other questions? Because I'm gonna go offline and see if I can pull up one for you guys and take a look at it. I know it was a lot, but I think it would be, like I say, to test it. It'll be helpful for you to take a look at it on your own. I'm trying to go in. No one has questions?
Ooh, I have a question, Helen. In terms of, you said syncing data from the mobile app to your laptop or your desktop. How does that process work? You said it would be like a little lag time in between because the mobile app is sort of like in a separate jurisdiction. Like, how does that syncing process work?
Once there's not. You have to get internet connection in order for it to sync. So wherever you are, if you go, for example, if out of the building, you lose connectivity,
Right.
but when you come back to the building, as soon as you can get back on the internet, it's automatic. You have to go through that process, what I just showed you about syncing it.
Right.
But it will actually push your data onto the server.
Okay. You just need the internet connection.
Right. In order to sync it, you need to be back on the internet.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm just trying to see if I could pull up. There any more questions? I'm trying to.
So this is Janice, I may have forgotten my password. Do I need to redo that through you, Helen, or?
Yes, because I would have to reset it. You could send me an
Okay.
email and
Okay.
ask me to reset
All right.
your password. Uh, okay, I'm going to pull over something that I call test. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go under user rights. So if a person already has access to if a person has access to REDCap, here is where you would let them have REDCap mobile app access. So this one already has it. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do click on the REDCap mobile app. Once you click here, and you go down and request an API token. Once you request a token, it will automatically put up your QR code, or if the QR code isn't working, then you can specify that you want to send a link. I'm going to go over to the API playground, and I think it automatically gave me, not the playground, I'm sorry, API. I think it automatically gave me, this is where you manage your tokens. Once a person has been given a token, this is where you can control. If you have more than one study that they're on, you'll be able to ask them to list all existing tokens. But anyway, this is what it looks like. It'll tell you what type of controls they have. If they are, this will generate a user IP. This will show you here, transfer the token to another user. But again, they have to have access to REDCap in order to get that. So this is what my token look like. You can delete a person out of a token so they won't be able to use it. And again, I can't really show you a whole lot because I actually need to be on. I need to scan it.
Sorry, Helen. So you take that token number and you put it into the mobile device?
No, Once I give you access, the system already will put you in, and because the user is set up to be able to do mobile apps, like I showed you on the user rights, then it'll go back to it'll have them set up where they can go ahead and do that. But now this scan code here, if you're out in the field anywhere, you could print this off, take this with you. Once you scan it, it goes to this project. These are the logs, the tabs of the logs. It'll give you all the log files sent from your mobile project. It'll tell you any data dumps, and it'll give you all app activity. This is all specific to the mobile app. And then you have the dashboard here, where it'll tell you the event, the time and effect, and what device was used. Back here is where you set up your project. But if you're download, it'll show you how to download it here. And what's very helpful is they have video installing the mobile app here, video mode, mobile app project setup, and mobile app overview. So everything that I've said, it will just give you a quick overview of how to use the mobile app. And like that's all I can really show you on here for the mobile app, because you actually need the device to go in. So if you were to take this someplace and scan it, it wouldn't work for anyone who does not have an API. So if this piece of paper got lost somewhere and you think that a person can use their phone and scan it, and they uploaded REDCap on their phone, it's not going to work for them because they don't have an API and they aren't a user of REDCap. So you wouldn't have to worry about that. Any other questions? Do any of you have projects that you're thinking about putting out here on the mobile app?
Yes, we would like to.
Oh, okay, great. Like I say, I mean, go ahead. It won't hurt anything. Your project is already set up, and you should already. All you have to do is click REDCap mobile app and follow those steps.
Okay.
You'll be good to go. Request your API because the project is going to have like this wasn't set up for mobile app, but once I clicked set up for mobile app and it'll gave me the screen to request for an API, then I was good to go. And that's it. I mean, it's kind of simple. But once you get started in it, like I said, if you have any concerns or just let me know. If you request an API and either I'm not in the office or you have a question, don't hesitate to send an email or give me a call and says, hey, I requested an API. I requested a token and the token, it didn't happen. Can you just give me a call as a follow-up? Because sometimes we get emails, it goes to our BIU. They don't necessarily come to me all the time. So if you're working on something and you need something right away, follow up with a call to me or an email within a day, because this is in real time. Once you click it, I'll get an email and I will set you up with a token so you can go ahead and do what you need to do. So if that's no more questions, I'm pretty much done with the part that I need to do.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, we thank you so much.
You are quite welcome.
All right.
So we can kind of go onto the REDCap system and maybe just set up a project and just try it out that way.
Yes, if it's already set, each project that you have, for example, this one I called it test. If you go over to the left, these are the applications, and REDCap mobile app is one of them. So you would just click here,
Yes.
and then you will follow there. But you can do it on a desktop here, but in order to access it, you need to make sure that you've downloaded the from the Apple Store. If you have an iPhone or iPad, or if you have the Android, then you would go into the Google Play and get that on your mobile device, and then you can move from there.
And Helen, you will be sending us your PowerPoint, correct?
Yes, it'll be in a PDF format, and it'll be the step-by-step guide. It won't. It'll be a little bit different from this one, but it's going to be everything that we talked about and the security, even more than I really went over, because there was a lot of stuff that you could read on your own. But and again, those videos that are on here, they're also helpful. They'll give you an overview. And these, I believe they did these last year, and it'll give you your project setup. They'll tell you how to set up a project.
Okay.
Have everything there.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
You're quite
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
You're welcome. You guys have a great afternoon.
All right.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Once I get the emails that I need to send them to, I guess once you guys, I get a list from them, or I will send it to them and they can get it to you all.
Right.
Okay.
I'll follow up with you today, Helen. I'll send you the list of names to send the information to.
Okay, sounds good. All right, thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.